lab so that you can hopefully get some of this done at home so that we can get more experimenting in on our days here at school. At this point in time, both Mr. Monahan and I had all of the classes open up the document and already share it with the lab partners. So that should be good to go. So at this point on, you're always going to access this file from your drive, not Canvas. Please, you can even get rid of this copy of and put your names here in the title so that we know that that's yours. And then basically you'll start by putting your names here as well. So please make sure you fill in your names in this top spot, first and last name of everybody in your group. What you are going to do is you are going to begin your write-up of this to get approval so that you can start experimenting again, hopefully as early as Monday, depending on how much you get done at home. So you are thinking about an independent variable that can speed up the reaction that we observed in class the other day. How can we make that reaction go faster? What can we do to speed it up? So you and your group do have to decide on an independent variable and propose a hypothesis here in the correct if-then statement. Then you'll fill in all the materials you need. So I'm going to show you, I took a picture of all the materials. This is the basic stuff. So you need to list every single thing that you need in order to do this lab. If you have something that is not pictured, it depends on your independent variable. If there is something that is not pictured that you need to please email your science teacher so that we can approve that. If there's an additional piece of equipment or an additional material that you might need for your independent variable. Okay, so you would list all those materials there, and then you're going to list all your variables. List the independent, what did you and your group decide you're going to change? What's the dependent that is the same for everybody? And then list all possible controlled variables or constants. Keep thinking about all the things you must need to keep the same. It's more than one. It's probably more than like at least 2 or 3. All right. Then you're going to write detailed step-by-step procedures on how to run the experiment. In a minute, I will show you our controlled trial video so you can kind of refresh your memory. You need to be very specific and very detailed and think about amounts of things. What tools and instruments are you going to use? These should be listed in steps, and you're going to obviously need more than 3 steps. We just got you started here with this template. And they need to be in complete sentences with proper capitalization and punctuation and spelling and grammar. So please check through all that before getting our approval. To help you with all of that, if you noticed on Canvas, this is where you open the document. This is a cheat sheet that can take you through the step-by-step with a little bit more detailed here. It's kind of what I did right now, but this will help you with some of the sections of the lab report. Okay, so that is the cheat sheet. It's right underneath the template. There is also a rubric, by the way. The rubric is on the next slide. Actually, I'm going to go back here. The rubric was on the template when you opened it up for the first time in class, but there's also a rubric that goes through how we are going to grade everything. That's at the very bottom there, lab report rubric. This is a 32-point grade in the end. I'm going to go back to this. And we do want you, after the procedures, we want you to set up a data table. So you click underneath the heading data table, and you're going to hit insert menu, table. And you want to do at least a 3x5. So 3x5 is if you're going to do 3 trials. So you can do a minimum of 3 trials, a maximum of 5. So if I want to do 5 trials, I'm actually going to do 7, 3x7, because this will be like trial 1, trial 2, etc. Okay. And then over here, controlled data, we are going to give you that. When we did the demos in class, Mr. Monahan was recording data on the board. We're going to use that controlled data, the controlled trials, we should call them. And then you are going to type in your experimental trial data in there. So you'll make different headings based on what your independent variable would be. And you're going to do at least 3 trials. And then the last one would be the mean. You're going to calculate the mean of your data for conclusion purposes, okay? So we're going to do a minimum of 3 trials, a maximum of 5. It depends on how much time you have in class. And then a mean of your data. So that's how you set up the data table. So when you have all of those sections completed, the data table set up, the procedures, the variables, materials, and hypothesis, we do want you to submit this on Canvas so far because you need your teacher's approval. So you're going to go back into Rate of Reaction Laboratory and you're going to submit it. So I can't show you what that looks like because I'm not a student. When you go to do that, you want to submit it as a link, please. And to get the link, you would hit share, kind of like when we do hyperlinking. You would want to make sure you change the link to Eastern York School District. And you want to, this is actually very important. You want to change this. So instead of saying viewer, you want to change it to commenter. That way, Mr. Monahan and I can make comments on your actual file that everybody in the group can see. Okay, so you're going to copy that link and then hit done, and then you're going to submit that link on Canvas. Okay, so your regular way you submit things, you're either going to attach the Google Doc as a link, or you can directly submit that link to us. And that way, when we make a comment, everybody in the group can see it, versus not just the person that's turning it in on Canvas. We only need one of you to turn it in on Canvas out of the group, but we want to make sure everybody can see the comments that we make because you're going to have to likely go in and fix some things up. We might go back and forth a couple times before you actually get approved to start experimenting. So if you can get the bulk of this done at home, then you actually will have more time to experiment next week, okay? I think that's about all that I had to show you, aside from I wanted to make sure I actually set this off again. This is Mr. Monahan demonstrating a controlled trial. This is to help you write your procedures. And this is also for those of you who may have been absent the day that we demonstrated this in class. So I'm going to play this. It's about a minute long.
Control trial of 1 unbroken Polident tablet, white side up, with 10 milliliters of room temperature tap water. Mrs. Barber is going to start the stopwatch as soon as I add the ingredients and snap the lid on.
Seconds. "42 seconds is our total time for this controlled trial. Controlled trials that we have already completed for you, that was 1 whole tablet, 10 milliliters of room temperature water. Okay, those are the controlled amounts. Please reach out to us if you have any questions, and we look forward to seeing your submissions on Canvas. Thanks.